Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I have been in the garden again, green fingers and creativity in this week's video. Also got my toolkit out. I attempted to make in my head I had a completely different vision. I wanted to use scaffold boards and old pipes, but then all the shops closed. So from my scrap wood, I decided to tackle a project and I made a tiered flower pot stand bench. You'll see what I made. We also have a sponsor in this week's video. I am going to be using some of the products from the Performance Organics range from Miracle-Gro. I used them throughout my garden and also in the flower pots that I used in my project, which you are going to see now. So first up, here's how I made my plant stand. I am going to attempt to make a tiered flower stand, like a bench style, but this is all of the wood I have. There's no shops open, I have to use what I have. I have some odd shaped wood. I also randomly have a coffee table, which I decided to use for something different, which you might see in a different video. For the legs of my table, I'm simply chopping in half what I already got, so I'm going for 2 different heights with this. I found the center point in each piece of wood and then I took it to my miter saw and chopped it in half. Don't worry, you don't have to have fancy tools for this, you can just use a handsaw. And do not forget your safety equipment when you are using your power tools. My miter saw is only a 7¼ inch, so I was slightly short, but I just flipped the piece of wood and chopped it on the other side. And that's how I got my straight cut. But again, you can use a handsaw on this, just be really careful when you are using tools. Once I had my wood cut to size, I had the very awkward task of putting it together, which I didn't have any helpers and I don't have a proper woodworking bench. So I had to kind of lean this against the wall, and I actually used the boxes of Miracle-Gro to stack up and give me height so I could stick my wood pieces on. I applied a layer of wood glue to my wood, I popped it on, and then I used my nail gun to tack in the pieces of wood. I didn't get a shot, but I also put a tiny L-shaped bracket on the inside just to reinforce my stands and stop them from wobbling. There's so many ways you could make this. You can use a drill and screws if you don't have a nail gun. You can use extra pieces of wood. Basically, get creative and see what you can make from your scrap pieces of wood. I applied a coat of primer before I painted this, so I gave it 1 coat of white primer. I then applied the same leftover paint that I had from my kitchen chair video, and I gave it 2 coats of, I think it's tumbled marble. I'll pop the details of the paint in the description. I then had the really fun job of styling up my plant stands. I'm really happy with how these turned out, and they're actually quite sturdy. Now, you wouldn't use them as sitting benches, but for the flower pots, they are absolutely perfect. I have been using some of the products from the Miracle-Gro Performance Organic range. This range allows gardeners to get great results by using organic ingredients and guaranteed to grow your plants and veg twice as big. If you are like me and you forget to feed your plants, then do not worry. When I planted my pots, I added in some of the All-Purpose Granular Plant Food. This will feed your plants for up to 3 months, which is really good because I have a tendency to forget. This is also perfect for use on indoor plants and great for hanging baskets as well. This range is child, pet and bee friendly, which is really important for me as during the summer I have a wild hedgehog that visits me. I also have the cats, and I recently planted lots of bee friendly plants. So I planted some cottage mix in the tire planter and the chair because I'm trying to encourage more bees to come into the garden. This product is also really easy to use, and there is clear, easy to follow instructions on the back, so you can't go too far wrong. I also use the All-Purpose Liquid Plant Food, which is like a concentrated liquid, and you simply dilute it into your watering can, and then you just water your plants as normal, and you will have a visibly healthier plants within 7 days. I applied both of these products to my flower beds, and then when I planted my annuals in their pots. So when I planted these, I mixed in some of the granular feed, and I'm just giving it a little top up with some of the liquid food as well. Garden, I had the bistro set that I painted I think 2 or 3 years ago, and I also had a bench, and I wanted to just revive them and give them a new lease of life. I gave my chairs a quick clean down with some crud cutter to remove any of that grime, moss, mold and dirt, and then I gave them 2 coats of the paint that I had left over, and they turned out pretty good. They were pretty messy to begin with. They just had gotten some abuse from winter, and I didn't properly clean them last year. Got this bench about 5 years ago. I think I got it on sale. It has been painted many times, and I just had flower pots on it. Some of them have broken, proper disaster. So same thing, I gave it a good clean, and then I gave it a coat of paint in the same colour, and this brought this back to life. The wood on this is really good, like the wood is not rotting, it's taken a bit of a bashing. So I revived it, gave it some love, and I can't wait until we get to the stage where I can have some people over and I can sit on my bench with a cup of tea in good company. At the moment, it is harder than ever to get your hands on what you need, but it's not impossible, and I'm going to share some tips on how you can get some gardening supplies and some plants and seeds. So first up, there are some ways you can get some stuff online. Obviously, be super careful and once it is safe to do so. I know in Ireland there is 1 or 2 nurseries that are doing curbside collections if you are local, and it's safe to do so, and they're also doing deliveries as well. So just check your local area to see if any of the nurseries are doing deliveries. You can also check Facebook groups. There may be some local Facebook groups that you can maybe do a plant exchange. Obviously be super careful, but maybe if you put a call out, maybe you need some compost, or if you need some cuttings or seeds. I know gardeners, half of my flower bed was given to me by my neighbour from root cuttings. So whether it's a slip or a cutting or a seed, maybe see if there's gardeners in your local area that may, if they're out on their evening walk, pop a little packet of what you need on your doorstep. You don't have to physically see them, but you could also maybe look at doing some sort of gardening swap shop. And also, I noticed when I was in the grocery stores, so last week I noticed Lidl and Aldi had their, they still had the garden stands as you walk into the store. Now, there wasn't a lot left. I did manage to get a couple of herb plants, but I was able to get loads of vegetable seeds from there. So check your local grocery. It's different in the UK. I know there's like Tesco, Sainsbury's, and you may be able to pick up some products there. I notice at the moment they still have some flowers. If you are into vegetables, I haven't done it, but I've seen the videos on Facebook. So you can grow from a piece of fruit or veg. So from a tomato, you can grow a tomato. I don't know how it's done, you will have to look into it, but if you take the seeds from vegetables that you've already got in the kitchen, you can propagate them and turn them into a plant. But I'm no expert on that, but it is an option. And then another option is if you are running low, because I am for my seeds, running low on like pots, you can get creative. I kept the tray from my garlic and cheese chips because I'm gonna it's like just a little tin tray, a takeaway tray. I'm gonna use that for some seeds. I think I'll put peas in it. Once you just pop some drainage holes in it, put your compost in, put your vegetable feed in, you could use that to get your seeds started. You can also use empty milk cartons. I know last year I started my tomatoes in milk cartons I just popped holes in the bottom. I started my tomatoes in the milk cartons, and when they got too big, I popped them outside. So look at what you already have. I'm sure we have loads of sauce tins knocking about. Just get a nail and a hammer, put some drainage holes in the bottom, and then have fun sowing your seeds. I also want to say a massive thank you to the guys at Miracle-Gro for sponsoring this video. I will put website details here where you can learn more about the products that I used in this video. So that's it, everyone. Happy gardening. Get out, enjoy the sunshine. I've got some sunshine today. It's so rewarding getting your hands in the dirt and seeing everything look so pretty afterwards. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.